Previously, in the GodBreaking, our group of awakened heroes traveling the realms of Elysium, making our way around this now deserted, once lush and alive, but now deserted and mostly devastated plain. You guys have been encountering various entities and the remnants of the thriving godhood and civilizations that lived here. In the things that you did last week, first of all, as I recall, Deimos, you got a forged item from a satellizer. She had finally pieced together the construction of the
The condom
yeah.
cap.
I know it's a skull cap, guys.
It's a skull
super
cap.
Cool. It's got a pirate skull and crossbones on it.
It does.
Super cool.
I liked it.
Yeah. The fleshy unicorn cap, skull cap of absorbing is what it's called.
Yes.
So that's your new a new armor piece for you. So you are now currently walking around with a skull cap and a pair of tidy whities.
One day I'll have actual armor.
Next, you'll be getting a pair of shoes and a cape.
Yep. One day. By the time we get to the top of this mountain, I'll have a full set, and they'll be like, "What?"
and you'll still be naked. Pretty much.
Each level, I get a new thing.
Until Act 3.
You'll get the next thing
Oh,
is a
it goes
nipple,
away again.
nipple protector.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like pasties, nipple stickers.
Yeah. Like the ones the celebrities use.
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
Stars.
Yes, please.
So Statalizer gave you the skull cap that was crafted from the fleshy absorbing sacks of Tibubo and the large member of a Baylor that you have been scavenging. And then you guys, let's see what else happened. You started making your way towards Tempest's Vigil, which is marked on the map roughly by that golden circle there.
Cool.
You went first to Torm's Vigil, and at this place you received some healing from Cyrene, and Altruis, his blessing upon you guys was a light spell, something that would pierce the darkness and illuminate your path ahead of you. So, Deimos, your skull cap is now, and specifically the front part of your skull cap, the focal intake spot, is blazing with like a light spell on steroids, basically. And the darker it grows, the brighter it becomes. But while it's daytime, it glows in harmony with the sunlight. And this lasts 7 days. And you guys made your way north across the Radiant Straits towards when we left off last, and you fought some demons there, and you made your way this way towards the shores of tranquility. Renly, you cast commune with nature, something like that, and felt and sensed a celestial essence in this area. Elwyn, you looking through basically using your awakened power, looking into the reality of things below, you noticed that the weave had congregated in this area thicker and as if it were braided, as if it were manipulated together, heightened in this area. And you guys could see intense magical effects and interactions, just kind of like dancing across the sky as you head in this direction. I think that's where we left off. Did I forget anything?
Oh yeah, after we dealt with the demons and the forest fire of sorts, we turned around and discovered that Kalia was MIA.
Shush.
I actually remember, he said that she was right next to us at the end.
That's right. Akelia was gone. I remember that.
Oh, wait.
Hold on. No, she's
No.
She doesn't
No.
remember.
Hey, Deimos, can you turn your volume up slightly?
Let me try Deimos.
Oh, wait, what was that?
Deimos, can you turn your volume up?
She's
Yeah, sorry.
here.
Give me 1 sec.
Ellen tries to nat 20 the DM.
Are you sure? I thought I didn't see her. Wait, is that lump on the ground her?
cast reduce on her, and she was in my pocket the whole time. And when I mean my pocket, in my undies.
isn't there a fantasy ground setting that the DM can manipulate the die roll?
Oh, that would be
Is there?
amazing.
Yeah, but
Oh, here it is.
I've seen
Manual
in
dice
the
entry. Let me see. How does this work?
Really low.
Dude, if you find it, let me know, because I need that.
Let me see here.
What?
Manual dice entry. How does this work?
It to every single roll, though.
Is it?
Yes. And it pops up a little thingy, so when you roll, it'll hold every single roll. If I remember correctly.
Oh, when you rolled a 20, damn it, even I can't tell. Okay, she's in your pocket, let's go!
Okay, so if I
Give me a chance
roll
here.
this,
Let's try to get her out.
so let's see how does this work. D100, D10. What does that show up? It shows up as a 10. All right, let's try this again. Okay.
Wow!
Okay. Again. Here, one of you guys roll something. Okay, so your guys' rolls look like that. If I wanted to roll this. Oops. Oh, that's hacked. There, look at this. Oh, here, I'm rolling. I'm rolling. Oh, shit, guys.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Fucking dice.
For thematic purposes and drama, at any given point where you need the 20 to happen for the villain to kill somebody off, you can do it.
No,
So-
for the exact opposite. When I rolled
The
double 20
opposite.
against you guys, I'm like, fuck.
But
That
that's
way I
you.
can, like-
That's you. Yeah.
That way I can type something that's not on the second 20 roll. It's not a 20 against you guys. How do you do that, Midas?
I swear I've never used this before. I just figured out how to use it. So it's every roll that I make, I actually have to manually input what I want it to be. So it's kind of annoying. And you actually have to turn it on and off in the settings. So
Oh, but that way, like, you can actually prevent yourself from rolling a second 20?
Yeah.
Potentially?
It's because in my games, whenever you roll a crit,
Mhm.
you roll a second 20. If you roll a second 20 on the, like, if you roll two 20s in a row, then it's an auto kill. And if they can do it, then I can do it. And I've
Oh.
rolled so many times with two
Double
20s
20s.
in a row. Yeah.
And, like,
Oh, that's
if
good.
You roll, like, two, like, if you roll a 1 and then you follow it up by, like, a 5 or lower, your item breaks, even if it's, like, legendary or, like, some, crazy powerful weapon, it's gonna break and
It
explode.
just doesn't break, though. It explodes. Depending on the rarity, like, if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like if it's a +1, it'll do like 1d20 plus 20 to everybody, like in a 10-foot radius while the magic item explodes. If
I
it's
see.
a legendary, then it's like I've almost wiped a party when one of their legendary weapons exploded.
Alright, is my mic still super duper soft?
It's better to me.
You're
I'll
good,
try it.
bro.
You're
Fix
good.
it a little bit more. This thing is stupid.
You're a bit clearer, I think.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. So I just I don't officially I don't use that module. It's more fun I think to not. Anyway, so Akelia is gone. And you guys so you guys are standing at the edge of the shores of tranquility. The nature kind of comes into a state of peacefulness. You can hear the lapping of the waves on the shore from the astral sea, the sea of light, and you can tell that the shores of tranquility stretch for a long, long ways. They basically span the whole northern side of this plain. So it's a very broad, very long stretch of seashore.
Guys, did we give Akelia a sending stone?
Yes. I
I
look
don't
both
know.
ways. Yes. Oh, the sending stone that I gave her. Of course. Of course. Why would we not give her a sending stone?
Why would you not give her a sending stone?
Yes, we obviously have a sending stone for her.
I insight check Demos.
Don't even try. I can guarantee to a roll a d20. I'm fairly confident I gave her a sending stone.
Okay, so are you trying to
Pretty
reach out to
sure
her?
I gave her a sending. Yeah, I'm gonna tap this sending stone. I'm like, hey girl, yeah, where you at?
Okay. I don't remember if you guys gave her a sending stone actually, but
Pretty
Let's-
sure
let's
we
just-
might have not have. She would have been
Flip-flopped.
smart enough to get one though. She would have been smart enough to get one.
okay. So you guys are standing there talking into one of your sending stones, which they haven't really worked because in any time in Elysium because they've all the other people with sending stones are back on the mortal planes, and they don't reach that far.
I'm gonna
But
call Deimos to see if it works.
Deimos, your sending stone starts ringing in your pocket.
Oh,
Or-
what's
and-
up,
and-
Erwin?
Actually, you don't have a pocket, so
I have a special pouch in my tiny Wendy's for my sending stone.
I said running around Demos yelling, cinnamon, saffron, nutmeg, you around, nutmeg!
Okay, so you're looking for nutmeg. The chariot is still there. Nutmeg is by the chariot.
And then I'm like, yeah, Agelia, and then I'm like, just play.
Okay. So I can never. It's coatl. I can never remember how to spell coatl.
I think Couettl.
C-O-U-C-O-A. No, I'm looking at the Fantasy Grounds library to try to find a picture of a
I
coatl.
know Couatl, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
There's
it
some
sounds right, but it's not.
apostrophe in there somewhere.
Oh, it might be apostrophe. Nah, screw it. Anyway, the oh, I might have been looking at the wrong one. There it is. Okay. So, nutmeg. Raises his neck, and you can see his slithery tongue in front of you. He points his head in a north easterly direction, right, and begins to flap his wings, and he lifts off into the air, and you can see him spinning around in the air, gesturing towards you, motioning towards you. You know, he's basically like Lassie, you know, like trying to get you to follow him.
I'll turn into a dragon, a copper dragon, and then like motion everyone to get on my back, and then I will follow.
I get on Renly's back and I say to the sky, whoever that was the perfect horse noise.
So off into the along the shoreline, you guys continue to travel. As you do so, the sensation of thick arcane interactions grows. You can tell that you have passed into a place that has been protected even from any kind of demonic interaction. No demons have set foot here for quite a long time. The air is thick with holy arcane power. I'll just put it that way. And as you guys are moving forward, Renly, you begin to feel like your wings getting sluggish. You're traveling along, but it becomes more and more difficult for you to progress. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw for me.
I will mention this to everybody, but I'm not quite sure what the saving throw for a dragon is. But
Oh shoot, let me look it up. Or you can look it up too.
so add whatever is a dragon to that.
Okay, sure. All right, so you are your wings begin to drop to flap slower, and you begin to lose altitude. You're now just barely hovering over, skimming the surface of the ground.
Guys, this is like wading through mud. altered.
Have
I
you
slap
tried-
Renly on the on her dragon ass, and I say, "Try harder, Renly."
I give her guidance, but I also like try to flap her wings for her. Like I'm on her back. I'm like trying to flap these wings.
If you make it worse.
No, this is helping. I'm a doctor and a wizard. Oh, she's huge.
I'll make her like that size. Okay. You guys approach, and you hear Nutmeg getting more excited as he's trailing along on your back, Renly. Just
Can
kind
we
of
get the
slithering
horse
his head
noise
back and forth.
Perfect.
That's officially a quaddle sound. I just made that up. That's whiskey induced. He gets excited. He moves his head slithering in that direction, and in the distance you see Akelia moving through some of this natural a natural ravine that like it looks like it's like a stream leading to the sea, right? But she is indeed just walking on the surface of this crystalline water as she moves towards the sea. She is, call it, 300 yards away from you.
So she's walking on water.
Yeah.
Have the clouds parted? Is the light streaming down on her?
Nope, but the sky is bright with arcane interaction, flickering back and forth, like almost like the northern lights, the aurora borealis, just flickering across the sky. You can see the as you gaze forward, this is the focal point. The weave and the braids condensing the weave, and the threads of the weave are intensifying and heading in this direction.
Wait, like almost like a nexus?
Yes, like whatever was the origin point of this manipulation of the weave is in this direction.
Wow, okay. We'll struggle forth towards her. Can anyone message her?
It's at this point, Renly, that your wings carry you no further and you touch down to the ground.
I drop people off, I roll over, and I transform back into myself.
Okay.
Tag.
So,
Any of you tag.
you see her continue to walk forward, and a shimmer of blue light suddenly appears in the area that she's standing in, and you see her raise her arms and freeze in place as a large blue crystalline wall of ice suddenly just arises, surrounding her, passing through her, and engulfing her.
Wait, what?
What?
Is she like gone? Is the ice wall gone? Like did she just disappear like in a flash?
You can see her as you guys are. I assume you're moving closer. The place where
rushing as fast as
okay,
I can.
you see her frozen in the center of this wall of ice.
As soon as we get within distance, I'm gonna try to dispel that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, how far away are we?
What's the range on dispel?
120.
All right, so that's 40 yards. So you guys are running for about a minute as you guys
As
get
we're
closer.
Closer.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably shift into a super Deimos form.
Okay.
When I see her in the ice.
All right, you can go ahead and apply those. Let's see here. Oh, this is the same day as your fight, so all the effects and stuff from your last fight, let me see here, are still active, as are your wounds and everything. All right, so Deimos, if you want to go Super Deimos mode, you gotta apply the effects and stuff and burn the spell slots.
As soon as I see him turning into Super Deimos, I'm gonna mount my saddle on his back.
Okay, Adis, what'd you say?
And I'm gonna turn into Zerborg because I don't feel like running. I'd prefer to walk. And he walks as fast as I run, so
Okay.
probably a little faster actually.
All right, so you take on the form of Zerebor. Okay. So as you guys approach, Elwyn, you're gonna cast dispel magic on it. Tell
Yep.
me what you do as you cast it.
I take my staff of the Magi in my hands and all the runes that are carved on it. I find the correct sequence for the dispel magic spell to go off, and I concentrate on that beam, that wall of ice that is freezing her in place, and I just will it with my strong Elwyn sorceress powers to go away.
Okay. You focus your energy in that direction, and as you do, you are suddenly hit by a realization of the intensity of this ability, that of this wall, of the nature of it. It's like it's born out of the weave itself. It is of a strength, of a density. That's what I'm looking for. The arcane interactions are of a density that you've never experienced before. They're similar in scope to what some of the divine magics that you've encountered, right? So
Yeah.
when Akelia crafts her sleigh, the way that she's able to manipulate the weave and the arcane powers in the area, you recognize similarities, but this has
So
been
what you're
like
saying
honed and crafted over time. So
So
this
what
is
you're
this is
saying is that I've seen this, and when I use my spark of light on the dispel, I tap into that knowledge and make it my bitch.
did you roll your insight? I didn't see the roll.
Too.
So, um, what happens is your dispel magic ability hits the surface of it, and you can see a ripple effect across of it. You're able to peel back a single layer of the wall of ice, and that Akelia is trapped in.
What is it doing to her, Elwyn?
But you can tell that it's going to take much more than that, much more concentrated effort to free her.
So I grab my reins that I have while I'm riding Deimos, and I slap him. I take the little whip and I give him a little slap on the ass, and Deimos knows that means penetrate.
Yeah,
So we need to get in that bitch.
yeah, Deimos knows, and he's like using his actions and everything. He's just sprinting it full ahead.
Okay.
But we're also trying to see like
a few seconds later,
tell
you
where
guys
this
find
is coming from.
all of you guys reach the wall. It's risen out of the ground. As you get closer, you guys see thick, intricate, multiple layered levels of rune work, and arcane sigils and stuff drawn everywhere. You guys recognize this as probably the most powerful warding spell in that you definitely have ever seen. But and the power level of it is it's like it was crafted by a god almost.
Wait, is
there
it
any way-
helping her, or is it like killing her?
It's trapped her.
Like,
It's trapped her.
it's trapped her.
She's frozen in the middle of this wall.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's not actually doing anything to her.
with that too on the spark, would I know if she's being hurt in some fashion or
Yeah,
just
that could
being
be something.
contained?
She is at this moment just being contained. But as you guys look through on the other side of the wall, since it's ice, it's pretty transparent. You see manifesting itself, quite a bit downstream of the wall. Another arcane ward just kind of springs into action, triggers. It has to do with your presence here. As you guys approach and you touch the wall, you see another ward, again downstream, fire up. And this object, a multi-polygonal shape, and a very odd interaction of arcane arts, springs to life
Well,
and
shit.
begins to move
That
slowly
is freaking awesome.
in the direction of Akelia and the wall.
So as we're getting closer and I see this, I look back at this ward. I'm riding on Deimos's back, and then I remember to look at my body. And I'm like, holy shit! I have 408 wounds.
Okay, so Elwyn and Deimos. We'll put Renly.
No.
Renly, are you still in Moonscythe mode?
Well, no, and actually, right now I would have to have transformed back if I was running. I was moving on my broom, so.
Okay, can
Are
you
we
change
able
yourself?
to,
Can you drop your thing?
There's no way I could tell, like, try to sense a divine activity because I'm a cleric and cool like that.
So what are you looking for?
Mainly, I'm just trying to see if there's, like, besides Akelia, if there's another, like, divine creature that's, like, in this general vicinity. Because, like, I've been pulling from the sweet, sweet Tempest boy for a while. And I'm just like, I know what divine energy is.
Okay. So you're using the same kind of observation that you guys are all sharing this information with each other as. Hold on, really, I don't know how this mod works. I never actually played around with it. How do you drop your form and turn back into Renly mode?
You normally
Right.
just do 0 on the temp.
Right click
And-
on the token in the bottom right of the wheel that pops up. It'll say remove ship chain. So like 5 o'clock. Revert from wild chain.
So I don't have
Like
that
on
option.
on the character on her character sheet, on the right side token, right click on it.
Okay, there we go. Gotcha.
5 o'clock.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yay, thank you.
You're big, Renly.
Well, I just lost. Okay, it was weird.
Okay.
How tall is this wall?
Quite tall. It stretches. We'll call it.
Is it taller
I think-
than me?
Yeah, I think Game of Thrones.
Okay. Alright.
No
Is it
problem.
actual ice or is it crystal?
It's ice.
Alright, I won't punch it.
And I swear, I still have not seen Game of Thrones last season. Do not spoil anything.
Why have you not?
Same.
Why have you not binged it yet? It's only 7 episodes.
Because I've been binging. I was in the middle of
6.
what's it called? No, on Netflix, Daredevil season 3 and Punisher, which are really good. So I've been binging
Yeah.
those.
It's
Anyway.
acceptable.
I'm halfway through Punisher, and then I'm gonna go to Game of Thrones.
But
Oh,
yeah,
so Deimos, so you're trying to observe if there's any other divine interaction in this area. Let's say that. Sort of.
religion or something, maybe. Oh, okay.
The answer is sort of. As you approach, you guys are encountering the same interaction of arcane arts and divinity, and it's masterful. It's powerful in scale.
All right, but I can't like actually like feel if there's another divine creature besides the Kelly around, right?
All you know is that Renly identified a celestial being, and this is the
Alright.
the direction that it was in. This
Sweet,
was
sweet, sweet.
miles ago.
What is it, boy? What is it? I asked Deimos.
We're gonna go. We're gonna get it. All right.
So are we sprinting right at it? Cause I can lead the
You
way
got-
with some.
There's a Game of Thrones sized wall between you and it.
You guys are standing
Uh,
at it. I mean, the wall's in front of you.
Diggy.
Kelly is trapped in the wall, and on the other side of the wall is this polygonal
I'm
thing
just double
coming your
checking
direction.
something, which was that she was walking on the water. She was pulling a Jesus move. So can we just swim under?
No, it's a but, I mean the the wall stretches to the bottom of the stream.
It's a Game of Thrones wall. There's no holes.
Deimos cast pass wall.
Oh, I got that too.
Oh
Can we, like,
no, it's
cast it
actually
together?
I dig a hole through it underneath.
Okay, I'll
That's
cast.
his version of it.
Pass
I'll
wall.
cast
You
pass
don't have
wall.
pass. What the fuck?
No, I cast Deimos' pass wall, which is
Yeah, there was his
Oh,
version.
that's why.
dig a hole underneath.
I'll help him out with it with casting actual pass wall.
all right. Pass wall. Let me see this. What's the spell do?
The bane
Passage
of
appears at
all
point of your choice.
people. The bane of all DMs, yes. You create a maze and then they just pass wall through it.
A passage appears at a point you choose that you can see on a wooden, plaster, or stone surface.
Oh,
If you
I will help you with ice because I am very good at elemental stuff.
All right, so
I
how are you
can
guys
work
doing
with
this?
you.
So let's say there might be a way that this works. How are you guys gonna manipulate the pass wall spell? Because as written, it wouldn't work.
Deimos is gonna start pounding through the ground in it, like I'm a fucking mole, and like Elwyn, like barely seeing over my head as I'm digging down, can see a point and like where my head is. Like I'm like way underneath, and he like points at a point like in a random rock area, and I'm like still digging, just trying to push through and just digging into this thing to like I'm assuming like to create a passageway through. Where Deimos still actually thinks he's digging through and underneath this thing, but pops out somewhere else.
Ooh, okay, let's
Can
see
I-
if this works.
Hold
I,
on,
I
before
will
you do
I
it,
will
before
pull
you do
out
it,
I will pull out Aurelian and I will run up to Elwyn and like bring the staff, my Aurelian staff up so that the tip meets up with the staff the Magi.
With my tip?
And but yeah, by our powers combined, and I'll channel my own energy spirit, burn a fifth level, and like twine it together with the staff of the Magi because
Wait, wait,
But,
wait,
like,
wait, wait,
Aurelian does lots of
wait, wait, wait,
elemental
wait, wait, wait,
I'm
wait. So
solid
Okay, hold
digging
on.
right now.
okay, all right. So you're
I'm just
digging,
digging.
and all right. So all right, I'm gonna draw for a second. So Adis, what were you saying?
none.
All right. So Renly.
I'm short,
Renly
you
is-
know, so I'm like in front of him, like about like knee, thigh height, and like raising up my staff too.
Renly's here, holding up her staff.
We're crossing
Okay.
streams.
It's got leaves and branches on it and stuff. It comes like this. Elwyn is taller, but also in a robe. Standing here, holding out his staff of the Magi.
I'm
It's
not
got,
wearing
like, little-
underwear if that matters.
Little dragon wings on it. Alright. A little dragon head in there. Right, okay. So
Where are you drawing? I can't see.
oh, you can't see it?
Oh no,
where?
no, I'm next to Elwyn.
Oh,
You see the
okay,
parchment
I see
that I
the
linked?
parchment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you so as you guys extend your staves to each other and the tips touch, Renly, there's branches and vines and stuff that grow out and interlink with Elwyn's staff and just kind of like wrap around it here, like that.
Oh my god, this is
A-
so
and you-
good.
And you guys can feel the conjoined energies of your twin staves just like blazing out energy and stuff all around, magically surging. Okay.
Dude, this is great. She has to hold it up like at eye level, and I have to hold it like at dick level.
Yeah. So your two stabs are essentially docked together. All right. So now, Renly, what were you trying to do? I just had to illustrate.
It's more along the lines like the camera is behind us and it's like an arrowhead. So we're at the bottom triangle bits and the point of the arrowhead is where our stabs meet. And like trying to focus the beam towards the wall of ice, and I'm trying to channel elemental energies of like of fire to like melt the ice as such, like specifically targeting things that are anti-ice.
Okay. All right. So
I
with it,
definitely screenshotted this, and I'm naming Renwin.
so when you guys with your docked staves, and I don't know, I'm getting the impression that Renly doesn't know what docking is. So Renly, in your own time, Google docking, and make sure you are in incognito mode on Chrome.
Oh god.
Anyway,
God.
I'm totally fine with this.
so Deimos, you start digging underground. You're molding it, and you get like 10 feet below ground, and you hit a wall of ice.
I keep digging.
Renly and and Elwyn, you slam your powers combined forces into the wall, right? Kind of like on the map here. And you can see with Renly you casting your spell, and Elwyn your pass wall, and Renly whatever it was you're doing your fire stuff. The wall again, you see layers starting to fall back from the wall in front of you. They begin to just like sheath off. Just a whole sheath of ice just collapses down to the ground in front of you. Okay, Adis.
I have like a total smile on my face. I'm trying to make eye contact with Renly, but I think Renly won't. Like she's trying to avoid it. I'm like totally thinking I thought this would happen with Deimos, but really you and I have just made a connection.
Of course we made a connection. Our staffs are combined. Like, wait, what do you mean?
It's better because she doesn't know what it means.
Exactly.
All right. Adis, what are you doing? You can see
I'm
Elwyn
just
and Renly combining their
enjoying-
powers.
I'm just.
Oh, by the way,
enjoying
the triangle thing moves closer.
Oh fuck.
Hi, are you friendly or are you angry? I mean, we're just trying to save our friend Achille over there. Are you helping her or are you destroying her? Can you don't?
Don't look back, Ramos. Nothing is happening over here.
It's
I
fine.
promise.
I believe you, but I feel like it's something we need to talk about later.
I'm totally not cheating on you.
I cast anti-magic field punch.
Ooh.
Fucker.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm gonna spark that bitch. I don't know how this
Okay.
shit works, but I want to cast anti-magic field in the stupid ice thing that I can't dig through.
Okay. All right.
Do it in
So
Achille so you can grab her.
so in the general area, Deimos, as you cast anti-magic field and start to punch into the area. All right, you guys are all slamming into the same general section of the wall. And you can see again like chunks of ice and sheaths of ice begin to fall off.
Oh, it's just right there. Boo.
Sorry, Adis, what are you doing?
I try to hold Renly's hand while we're doing this.
I'm just enjoying the show.
All right. So the three of you are making slow progress, and the thing moves closer.
Like, how much progress are we actually making?
I mean, you're like 6 inches into the wall, and the wall
How-
is the wall. You know, the wall is probably like I call it 20 feet thick.
What the fuck? Oh fuck.
Yeah, and so one thing you guys notice is that as Deimos added his strength to it, your rate of penetration, I guess,
Penetration.
has increased.
Can
As I'm-
someone try to pull Achille out, people?
While I'm gingerly holding Renly's hands as we're docking, I look over at Adis and say, "Bro, get in on this. It feels great."
I'm good. You all have your happy fun time together.
Okay. So you guys are now 9 inches in, and the triangle thing
nine
moves
inches
closer.
out of-
That's what she said.
Out of 20 feet.
Edith, does this
Yeah.
look like fun to you? Have you been smoking? Did you get into my mushroom stash?
Alright.
No comment.
I'm gonna, ooh, fucking balls. What do you guys?
Shit, should I go to Super Elwyn?
Super Elwyn. Let me Demo shield blast my bitch ass into this like a fucking cannonball.
Oh, legendary weapon. That's right. Let me see what I got. Yeah, I haven't used it. In my offhand, I'll let go of Renly's hand, but not in a bad way, so that she doesn't feel like unwanted or anything.
Of course.
I'll give her a little.
Achille here. I don't care. Keep going.
I'll give her a little like a little
Doesn't know what
nudge,
she wants yet.
just to let her know that it's not her, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
And on my other hand, I'll grab my super powerful staff, and I am going to use the twin dragon beams on the wall, see if we can get a little bit deeper.
And as he does that, I'm going to jump in front of it and turn into a bubble.
Oh yes.
So
I
we
will
can
Okay.
spark it then.
And I will also spark mine to help my power through blast.
Can you,
Alright,
can
roll
you
your sparks.
bubble with Akelia? Like, can you put Akelia in the bubble?
He's got to be touching her.
Yeah.
Oh, she's inside the ice or is part of a sticky out?
Oh, just one. Boo.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are redoubling your efforts. You managed to blast in, now you're moving feet at a time as the twin-headed dragons of Elman's staff are just surging into this ice wall. Now deeper in, you can tell that Akelia was most of the way through the wall when she got frozen. So she's near, if the whole wall is 20 feet thick, she's like at 19 feet into the wall.
All right.
Now,
So instead of hold
the
on,
circle,
Deimos.
like, oh, sorry, my bad.
And I tell the Deimos, instead of saying like as I put my staff down and the beams shoot out, instead of saying "Thou shalt not pass," I say "Thou shalt pass" to Deimos. If that helps at all.
Catchphrase bonus, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Demos,
Now,
jump on Adis and then jump to the other side of the wall. Does the wall go up to the sky?
oh, it's too high. Now, did my bubble go off and like slam into the wall? Did I do anything?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I mean, because so the Elwyn's beams are like an ongoing blast. There's not just one laser beam and it's done.
Oh, fuck
It's like
yeah.
an ongoing. So you're in your bubble and you're just being bored into the surface of this wall. And Renly and Elwyn's powers combining. Elwyn is basically like dual wielding magic staves. One of them is docked with Renly's staff, and the other one is dragon blasting your bubble into it. So you guys are making your way through this wall much quicker. So you're a good 10 feet into the wall right now,
All right.
and
I will,
the polygon thing moves closer.
So next turn, I'll use a second level spell slot to get 2 sorcery points back, and then I'll use all 20 to fire my beam stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll wild shape into a red dragon, like the biggest one I can. I'll hold the staff with my paw, and then also flame breath into it.
Okay.
I'm going to shake my fist a lot, and I'm gonna cast a good old solid ridiculous, really super cool Deimos super crazy punch.
Okay. You guys your combined efforts blast into this wall, and like I said, this wall is made of sheer, dense, arcane power. As you're making your way through it, it's like the walls of the barriers surrounding that separated the divided Mistrala's tower in half, the Silver Spire. Those were like Play-Doh compared to what you're burrowing through right now. Your sparked powers allowing you to your awakened powers allowing you to make your way through this. You have a healthy respect for what this thing consists of, and you recognize that this is just one ward, and that the second ward moving closer is just as intricate and just as powerful as the polygon shape moves even closer. You guys managed to, with that last effort, make it to Akelia.
Demons, grab her!
I
On
grab
the
her.
leash!
Let's get the fuck out of Dodge.
Breaking her free from the ice, you can see on the other side of the one narrow, one foot of ice left. That this force polygon is right there. You can see it shimmering and blazing with pure arcane power. Akelia, broken free from the ice. You can feel that the wards of the wall surrounding her were intense, but more so that she is locked, that there was much more to this wall than just the ice. For it to be able to trap Akelia, it was a multi-layered and extremely powerful and well-crafted arcane ward. And Akelia awakens and just shakes her head a little bit and says, I'm sorry, that this is incredible. the power concentrated here. I was taken aback for a second. And she sees the polygonal effects just moving in her direction. She says, "Run! Run quickly!"
Get on, Adif, run! Fly, run.
What do you guys do?
Yep.
Well, Deimos is in the middle of the wall, so you're 18 feet deep into the wall.
Oh no,
You guys
I said I told Damus I grab Acalia and then I turned to Elwin and I'm like, leash!
Okay, so you're in there too. All right.
Because we're outside, right? So like Elwin could leash Damus
Yeah.
back.
Elwin, are you out there?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna do a Deimos handling check. I reel him back.
Success. All right. You yank Deimos and Akelia out from the center of the wall. I'll move this over slightly. And so as they come hurtling back towards you, and you find Deimos, you kind of fall over because you're carrying Deimos in your arms like a baby, and he's carrying Akelia in his arms like a baby.
In that case, then I.
Strength check.
Oh.
make a strength check, Ellen.
Wow. This is gonna be good. Yeah, I'm gonna lucky that.
Oh my god! You switched.
So I'll put a so this isn't a minus.
Wait,
one.
you have disadvantage on strength checks because your arm is still hurt from where what's his name?
Yep. So yeah,
stabbed you in
that's
the
my
arm.
lucky. So 18.
That's right. Ming, what's her name? What was her name? Oh,
Mei Ling.
Mei Lin. Yeah, she 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 tried to kill you, but she decided not to kill you. She just stabbed you in the arm, and then she kissed you instead. This was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't have that fixed yet.
I made sure I put in my powers. This is my strong arm, and so I have disadvantage. I keep it on myself all the time.
That's great. This might have been the first time that it actually mattered.
Wait,
So
what,
you
what do pull now?
he tethered you. He leashed you back to him. You were holding Akelia, and now you're in. So you basically you get pulled back, and Elwin is now carrying you like a baby, and you're carrying Akelia like a baby. So I had Elwin roll a strength check to see if he could stay standing.
I will like to take a dexterity save to do a Houdini move.
No, I
And
luckied
then-
it, and I got an 18 on the a 19 on the
Every
die.
time.
18 total.
All right. So
Yeah,
Elwin,
Papa,
you're standing there,
You're so good to
holding
me.
the two of them in place, right? And you have a very serene face, and cool and calm and collected. But underneath your robes, your whole body is shaking and trembling with the exertion. Your knees are buckling.
Yeah.
You're-
I actually had to get an erection in a split second and use it as a tripod to balance myself.
Your butt is fully clenched. Every muscle in your body is just locked up, and your whole body is just shaking.
Oh, Sphinxer is pulsing, bro.
Yeah.
Deimos, I'm strong too. Look at me as
I'm
my
so
legs are. You feel the
proud of you.
vibrations of my legs shaking.
I'm gonna partially stick one of my legs on the ground, and just push myself up so it feels stronger.
I'm like, oh my gosh, Erwin, you're getting so strong. I'm so proud of you.
I shouldn't have skipped leg day. Let's go.
Never skip a leg day. Carry me away, Elwin.
No, let's not do that. I jump on his back.
The polygonal ward makes contact with the ice wall, and you see a flash of energy. Imagine the mother of all disintegrate spells. You can see
Oh my
see
god.
basically reality itself unwinding in front of you as you guys look at it. In fact, the weave underneath, that supports these arcane wards begins to shred, and the fibers begin to splinter and fray. You can tell in your vision, but in the material realm of Elysium, you can see this wall itself begin to just buckle in, just flex and warp and distort in front of you, and suddenly the whole thing vanishes from reality.
What the
Right.
hell?
Deimos, get Acalia away from here as fast as possible. I'm
Yeah, you see
gonna.
Damos booking it. Just
I
like
know
Super Saiyan
Renly.
booking it.
I know Renly's about to do some of her shit, like, so I just jump on her little, having this new connection between us, where we're like,
Do I
we're
see
one soul at the moment.
a tether coming forth? A three-way tether?
Oh my god, I'm gonna work on it.
Oh, we
Oh my
gotta get this
God.
going. We're
I
gonna
just-
be the worst god slayers ever. We're just weird people climbing up a mountain tethered together.
I just see Edith like shaking his head in the background, and like Randy is very confused as to
much.
what is going on.
Pretty
So
much.
I just jump on Renly, and I'm looking in her eyes, hoping she transforms into something that gets us out of here.
I turn into Bagheera, Shadow Cat, and I leg it.
And I just walk along as you're sprinting at full speed.
Okay. Akelia says, "Stop, stop, wait."
Oh, okay. I reverse.
She says, "I must continue. Those wards are incredible, but there's something beyond them. There's something I must see. There's someone I must meet. I can tell.
I did
I'm
tell
being
there
drawn
was
to it."
a celestial something or another in this area, right? So,
Yes.
so maybe
And can't
that's
you
it.
see? Whatever it is, whatever has caused all this has set up these defenses, these incredible magic defenses, to protect itself. But it
Can
is.
I roll an
Can you not tell
an
it?
in-
It needs me.
Can I roll an insight check to see if this is something she would actually say? Like, these are, us being with her for a while, I
Mhm.
would know that these are some dangers that she would put herself through, for a certain goal, or if she's being led to it. You know, like, is this her personal thinking that she wants to go there, or is this out of character?
Yeah, she's
Alright, roll
just a
insight.
Squid person who's like
Is it
going
her or is it mind control? Like this is the Maybelline line, but for mind control.
That's pretty good.
Elwyn, as best as you can tell, and she's looking straight into your eyes, with all the earnestness. So, I mean, you guys have a lot of history together. I mean, you remember her from when back on the mortal plane. You know, when there was an assassination attempt being made against her, when she was withering away because of the sheer exertion of maintaining the protective barrier around her city. She's always been pure of heart. She's always wanted to save and protect the people and the beings that were in her care. And the memory of that, of Akelia being frail and withering away because because it was taking everything she had to maintain the barrier to protect her people, but still with the grim determination in her mind that she would do it until she dies, just to protect the people that she was responsible for and that she cared for. It's the same look that you see in her eyes right now.
I say, Goddess, you know that we want nothing more for you to gain your power, but we must think this through. Please hold on. Let us all come together, our minds together. Let's not hasten in this endeavor if it'll put you in danger.
She pauses
I'll
for
try
a
to
second.
persuade her.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I give her a wink. Show her some side boob.
She says, "Yes. We must hurry, though. She needs me."
Who is this she?
"I'm not certain, but I know she is back there. She's frightened. She's alone and has been for quite some time.
This could be a grand ally, or it could be a great trap. I vote.
Can we communicate with her at all?
Just know the wards are too strong.
So way around the wards or just bring them before they disintegrate us?
Yeah, what exactly triggered the wards? I mean, you were walking just fine until we showed up.
He says, as I was proceeding forward, I was actively dismantling and countering the wards in front of me. Your presence distracted me just enough. It's not your fault. But, the power and the intricacy of these wards are incredible. If I were at my full strength, I would be able to, but I can't, she says, with my mind divided amongst so many realms, there's only so much I was able to focus upon.
Can we lend you our strength? Like, can we channel our magic through you? Would that help?
She says, if I knew you were helping me, if I knew that you were accompanying me, it would allow me to focus more, but these wards are beyond you. She says, you did well in protecting me from the danger of that trap. And I'm certain there will be more to come. She says,
I say, you're totally right, Achillea. Your wisdom as a goddess springs true. Adis should lead the way. Best decision you ever made.
Very good. Why did you not think of this sooner? Should we blindfold him and tell him to walk in a line? That's a great idea. They'll never even see him coming because we all know traps are triggered by sight.
Oh god!
She says,
Ace agrees, doesn't he?
No.
she says, I must proceed.
Okay, we'll be here protecting you.
She says, please do. With you at my side. Go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say if she's willing, like if she's totally good, I'll lead the way. I'm not gonna let her get trapped into something. She's more likely to get us out of trouble than us her out of trouble.
I set Elwyn back. I'm like,
Ewan, I'm not gonna say anything about this, but I think you're better at this math magic than I am. I never took pre-math algebra. How would I just lead the way, and I just walk slow? You guys tell me what to do. How does that sound?
You know what, Deimos? Can you touch me right here?
I touch you anywhere you want.
I point at all the spots that I'm bleeding from.
I can't heal in this world anymore.
Oh, hold on. I'll turn into Yggdrasil.
yeah, pretty much all my divine magic doesn't heal. It's only, yeah, Renly's our only heal now.
I
right
touch
now.
him into Yggdrasil.
Okay, so
and I heal.
she's like my healer, and I just docked with her. Oh, I don't know what this means for the Deimos and Ellen relationship.
You won't be as codependent anymore. That's a good thing. It's healthier.
One day, Deimos is gonna find a way to break through and actually use his super heals to actually heal.
One day. If you roll 2 natural
Alright,
20s in a
so-
row, I'll let you heal.
Fuck yeah. I'm gonna start changing my energy source.
All right, so right now the danger around us is gone. Right, that thing is no
Correct.
longer coming towards us.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it
let's-
vanished. It vanished along with the wall.
Okay, so I would rather, instead of us beating our head against whatever Midas puts up against us, we should think this out. Deimos as a Polish minesweeper could work.
Mhm. I
'Cause
have really, I mean, I got good basic perception.
And
but-
I have the tether. I don't know if I'll have to roll some Arcana or Charisma checks to see if I can
Yeah.
pull you back, or the Deimos handling check.
Yeah,
Never-
it's a good backup.
I still have 2 luckies.
Mhm.
I'm out of sparks.
I have 1 left.
I have 2 left.
all of Pepin's spells are ridiculous, so they'll not be helpful.
Oh, right. Midas,
Yo.
you told me to remind you. Here's that spell.
Okay. So, does anyone else want? You guys decided what you want to do?
I have no high level spell slots except for one 7th level. Just FYI.
Yeah, I thought we were.
I've only used one first and one second, so I have
Oh.
all my spell slots.
I'm gonna try to use my religion to try to commune with this thing on the other side as a not god or demon or anything like that. Just to be like,
Look at me, I'm a cleric. I'm good at communing with things like you. Because please don't blow us up.
Oh, one very important thing. Okay, Deimos does not notice the connection between me and Renly.
no, I don't. Not yet. Not yet. Deimos is gonna be devastated.
Okay, if we have 10 minutes, who's running out of spell slots and abilities right now?
That 19 is for me to check to see if I can try to like somewhat commune with a scared celestial thing that clerics draw power from.
You know what? I've never tried this. Adis and I have never had a very strong connection, but I don't know if this would be at all possible or what we would have to roll. Can I channel some of my spell slots into him? Maybe at like a 1-to-3 ratio. Like if I spend 9 spell slot, he'll get 1/3 level. Or if,
Wait.
you know?
If you're okay with it, I will cast Chrysalis on you. You take a 10-minute, an hour-long nap on my back, and you'll wake up fully rested, like long rest style.
Oh no, I have all my spell slots except I've only used one first and one second.
I mean like Adis. Because Adis is out.
If not, I'm gonna use all my spell slots to get all my sorcery points back.
I don't have 9th and 8th, and I only have 1 7th.
Oh, but you have everything lower.
Except for like 1 1st level and 1/3.
Okay, so that's not bad. Yeah, it's fine.
I just don't have
in
my
that case,
higher order magic in case shit goes.
I'll use 2/3, that's 6, 1/4, 10, 2/5, 20 to get all my sorcery points back.
Okay.
I will transform into Moonsight, so Akelia can do her stuff while I walk for her, so she can just like sit on my back, like maybe like yoga pose kind of thing, and just focus on dismantling wards, and I'll move forward for her.
Okay, so you are which form? Moonsight, you said?
Moonsight, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm most perceptive in that form, so that way I can like try to figure things out.
Okay.
You know
what? Go on.
Guys, I'll turn to Akelia, and I'll show her my crystal of brightness that I've never used successfully, and I'll tell her, you know what, this was given to me by one of the followers of Bahamut. This was the first item when I knew, when I found my bloodline, and this was given to me by my patron. It has to be a godly artifact. I was never able to use it successfully. Maybe this is the reason I've held it this long to help us in this situation. What do you think? Crossing my fucking fingers.
It never worked once, did it?
Never.
Never did.
Ever.
This is amazing. How do you still
Wait, the
have
crystal
that? Dude, he used that shit like.
Let me
back
see
in,
the item.
like,
Where's the item? Let me
Waterloo.
see the item.
It's the crystal of brightness. You gave it to me like on the first day. You said you can have this, this, or this, and you told me this crystal of brightness was given to you by your patron, the guy, the Lareth, the dragon voice that was in my head, and it was a gift from him from Bahamut.
I remember this. This is crazy.
And like every time he used it, and it always saved.
Never. Yeah, it never worked. Not once.
Oh, that's
in the
so
hands
awesome.
of the deity.
All right, so you give it to Akelia.
Yeah.
Okay. She looks at it and she holds it. She says, "This item is This is a shard of a soul. It is a piece of a divine soul. She says, the use of its rights now. Just, I don't see how we could apply it at this moment, but hold on to it dearly, Elwyn. For there will be a time when this will be required of you.
I definitely will. I always keep it close to my heart. It feels like it belongs there.
So I don't know which session you joined in. It was probably like session like 8 or something like that. This is the first time probably in all the sessions in between, so 130 sessions that I've thought of that since I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
Kelly
see my
says-
actions tab and under Crystal of Brightness, I've used it that many times and it's never worked, so I just stopped using it.
Because it ain't a crystal brightness, oh my god.
That's hilarious. I do remember that. I'm trying to find it just to say. Oh yeah, your crystal of brightness. Oh, that's right. It's such a low level spell. It's basically a level like 2 spell, the brightness spell, or something. And it's never been used. It's never been successful because the creature you used it on always succeeded.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Okay, so that's what she tells you. It's a piece of a divine soul. Okay.
Cool.
All right. She says, "Well then, shall we proceed?"
Yeah, this sounds like a cool plan.
You know what? I'll lose I'll drop my Deimos tether, the one I cast earlier, and I'll cast it again just to be sure to have a stronger
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
pull on it.
So you're staying back with Renly. So Kelly is riding on your back. And yeah, I lock tokens because these spell effect things, they get screwed up if you guys all start moving around them too. So Kelly's riding on your back, Renly. Elwyn, you're not riding with Deimos, right? Deimos is in front, walking ahead.
Oh, it feels wrong not being on his back.
Are you riding with him or no?
No homo. Deimos,
Yeah.
I
Is
feel more
there-
comfortable with you, but you
Yes.
let me know.
Is there?
Let's do this. Let's go, Bro Tonio.
Let's do it together,
It
brother.
is what you say.
Way.
I-
Never mind.
I didn't dock with Renly. Oh shit, I forgot you locked tokens.
I don't even know what that means. Of course you didn't. Alright.
Can I cast like
Does Elwyn know about the moment that you and Renly shared?
Yeah, I do. So I don't feel
Okay.
that bad.
Okay, just
Can
curious.
I use up a 7th level spell? And instead of connecting with Deimos with a 1st level, I'll
Mhm.
spend a 7th level and try to focus it with me and Renly, since we had our
Ooh.
moment.
A Renly
That way
tether?
she can pull us. Yeah,
Oh my god.
Hey, we need all the help we can get.
I'm willing to spend a 7th level spell slot on that.
I noticed
Um,
you doing this, right? Like, I'm like, what are you doing? What is going on? Do you need help?
You'll like it.
Okay, so Renly. So the tether spell that Elwyn and Deimos have was born from years of adventures and life, and death situations together, a camaraderie, a brothership, a kinship, an intimacy that is only born from fierce battle and resistance and trials. So Elwyn looks at you and he tries to cast the same spell to create a bond with you. Okay, so both of you roll a d20.
I just
Both of
had
you roll-
chills.
Both of you roll a d20. You guys have to match high or low. So 10 or higher, or 11 or higher, and 10 or below. If you both get high or both get low, then you can tether together.
Can I lucky that?
Sure, go ahead
Can
and
I
lucky
lucky
that
it?
one.
Okay. Come on, low number.
All right. And because of the adventures that you guys have had together, you feel that in this moment, Elwyn, you're able to set up a temporary tether with Renly, a one-time use thing, where Renly can pull you guys back if she so desires.
For
Okay.
a moment there, I feel this leash around my neck, and then I start getting strangled, and I'm like, tonight, and then he like adjusts it.
While they're getting their thingy all going, I'm gonna turn into Nebby
Okay.
and flap in the air and stay about, I don't know, like 50 feet above them.
Okay. All right, so you're like up there. All right. So you guys are tethered. So Renly, it's a reaction,
Deimos.
and for you, Renly, in this moment, you're going to maintain concentration to keep the tether alive,
Alrighty.
and then you can use your reaction to activate it.
Okay, cool.
All right. What are you guys doing?
I climb
Going
up on my
forward.
saddle,
Mm-hmm.
and we're facing this together.
Yeah, we venture forth, keeping very perceptive eyes out.
Once more
Okay.
unto the breach, dear friend.
Like, I'm gonna be that weird guy who constantly always guides myself just because I know there's traps literally everywhere. Like, I'm not that guy, but this time I'm gonna be that guy. A D4 matters.
All right. So you take you're walking down. You're walking forward. Oh, I have to do it myself. What the heck? Oh, you did that. Okay. You move forward.
Oh wait.
And
As
as
you're
you
walking
do-
forward, I will mention like tie a rope around your waist, Deimos. I'll hold the other end, and if you need us to stop Acalia, tell us, and I'll just hold on to this with my beak so that they don't walk any further.
You got the tether. We're good.
Oh, so that works even like to just hold you in place?
No, you can just pull us back.
Oh no, this is like in case y'all go too far. And she's like, nope, that's too far. You're all gonna get, boarded.
Renly, Akelia says to you. She says, Renly, don't let yourself fall too far behind them. Please stay fairly close, within 30 feet or so. I'm only the wards they're walking through right now are incredibly complex. I'm trying to keep them away, to stave them off.
Alright, I'll stay within 10, 15 feet. Well, no, I'll stay within 15, 20 feet of them.
Okay.
25.
Just in case
Alright.
something happens and pulls y'all further away, so, like if y'all fall or slip.
Okay.
So,
So
15, 20.
Deimos and Elwyn, as you walk forward, you can feel the dense arcane power. So it's highly intensified here. So the same thing that was slowing down Renly's wings in her dragon form, it's like that. You're slugging your way through mud, but there's nothing in front of you. I mean, you're probably like calf deep in water right now, but it's really the arcane wards.
Like, is it
No,
better up where Adis is?
No, the area is just as thick. Adis is having to use all his strength, so his form as Nebularis is quite a bit stronger than your dragon form was. So he's able to stay afloat, but it's most of what he can do just to stay flying.
Oh, I'm giving Deimos a deep muscle shoulder massage as we're going through, and whispering sweet nothings in his ear, like, fucking, I'm gonna tell him, think about that vanilla chocolate protein powder.
This is my favorite. Put some freaking chocolate chip cookies in
The
it.
day that you don't have to do legs.
I'm always doing legs. I'm never gonna quit.
Every day is leg day for Deimos.
I'm just like, pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Eat some protein powder. Pick it up, put it down. Do this.
You know what I got?
Fucking do. Slap it in the face. I got this.
0% body fat.
I am at least 14% body fat, like a power lifter. You know that. But I respect what you're saying.
He's not a bodybuilder. He's a powerlifter. He's not Mr. Olympia or anything.
I lift twice the amount of Mr. Olympia guys, but I have a little bit of a belly.
And then
Poke my
I use
belly.
my secret weapon. I whisper, paleo diet.
Deimos gets pissed the fuck off. All right, he just starts going forward. That's some bullshit.
I whisper on to him as I follow behind. Veganism.
Deimos actually will transcend being transcendent and just nuke this entire plane.
He turns into a barbarian.
Any of the vegans, like he just eviscerates it. He uses his miracle to eviscerate this plane.
No more vegans.
Adis, what'd you say?
I forgot now. Oh, I should have. When I first got my Nebularis form, I didn't read one of his abilities correctly. I could have just totally ditched this planet and went and found my own little planet to live on and lived happily ever after.
Sure.
He has the ability to fly between stars at super
He
fast
does.
speeds.
Okay, so you guys are following behind. Akelia is actively trying to ward and protect you, and as you step into this central point, Deimos, Akelia, her eyes go wide, and she says, "Oh no, oh no!"
I did her. Reaction.
Done.
I-
Stopped.
All right, all of you guys make a So Renly, you're gonna use a tether.
Yeah, I'm using the tether to pull them back.
Okay, Elwyn and Deimos, you get yanked, both of you, just like so. I mean, like Elwyn gets yanked back because that's a tether with. Deimos, you feel Elwyn's legs wrapped around your waist, pulling you backwards. Elwyn, make a strength check to see if you can keep Deimos with you,
Deimos, do you resist? This is like
just through your leg strength. What's the matter if Elwyn's legs are strong enough to be able to pull Deimos back with him?
Hold on. I'll use my last lucky.
No. I want to try use a react like a. Let me try a little dex save here. Nope.
To be fair, Lacey, what did you drop? You dropped a 16. Here, Oh, okay. The 18 was your lucky. Okay. So you're able to pull Deimos back with you, but you're dragging him along the ground. Your legs are like trembling. You get a cramp in your right quadricep, your right hamstring. But Deimos is dragging on his butt along the ground, but he manages to come back with you.
If tiny whiteies are no longer white.
Okay, and Deimos, just as you slip away back towards that area, you kind of like get dragged and you stop right there on the map. You can see in front of you like a blast of lightning just arise up, just blazing out from the ground all around you as a ward goes off, and
That would have sucked.
you can feel the extreme power levels just coursing through this area.
Well, fuck.
So in front of you right now is an incredible incredible sphere of electricity, just scintillating and pulsating in place. Adis, you're up in the air, 50 feet up in the air. You're not immune from the effect of this. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Not unless it's cold damage. Let's see here. Dex save, you said?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lightning courses through your dragon form. Yes.
I'll use my Legi to automatically succeed it.
Okay, so you're using your legendary resistance. Lightning courses through your dragon form. You can feel even in this essence of Nebularos that you're holding onto, the power wielded in this ward, this trap, is extreme. It blasts through your core. You're able to use your dragon resilience to hold off the greater effect of it. So you take half the damage. So what would this be? This would be So that and lightning damage. You can take half of it.
Half that? Okay, so that'd be
Yeah.
526.
526, yeah.
So minus 526. So that puts me at 626. 626. Alright. When I
Okay.
get to act again, I'm gonna fly up to 150 feet.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, so the higher you go, the harder it is to fly. So right now, you're kind of like at your altitude cap. In this area, the density of the weave is affecting the physics around it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Alright. I will fly to where I'm still like 50 feet in the air, but like 30 feet behind Rinley.
So like back here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and still in front of you, this lightning orb is pulsing and electrifying the area. It completely seals off this ravine that you're walking in. And Kelly says, "Oh, that's close. Oh dear."
Can we go around it?
Not by land.
Can't go over it, can't go around it, can't go under it, must go through it. Or something like that. I can't remember how it goes.
Can we try to smooth it or like make it weaker?
How are you gonna do that?
Very easy.
I'm gonna try something I've never done.
Ooh.
Anal?
So I will.
Sorry.
I tried that when I was 5. I'll use up like casting invisibility, flaming sphere, knock, web. Like just use up all my staff's charges for my staff.
Okay.
When
Wait,
he
wait,
cut-
if you're
when
doing
he-
that,
when
if you're
he-
doing
when
that, I'm going
when
to
he
summon
casts-
Numix. Who is immune to lightning, and I'll tell Numix to grab your staff.
And I'll
use
just
it as a
cast
lightning
lightning
rod.
bolt?
No, use it as a lightning rod in that stormy area. And try to like ground it, maybe. I don't know. You know how the
Oh,
lightning rods.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Numix is immune, so he can hold it up and maybe channel it into the earth. I don't know.
Let's do that.
Okay, so you're gonna summon Numix.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Let me find him.
Yeah, because if I would have tried to absorb the magic into the staff, I think my staff would explode.
But yeah, as a grounding rod, it'd be a really good grounding rod.
But it is like legendary or something, right? So it should be able to withstand the energy forces.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least enough to where it's a grounding rod. I mean, shoot,
Exactly.
Think about it. A small piece of iron can withstand crazy electrical storms. It might be oxidized at the end, but it good.
This might be the beard talking, but I'm willing to sacrifice my staff of the Magi.
It's the bear.
Well, crud! I can't find my There he is. Okay. Oh, where's my picture of Numix?
Numix is an Aurelian. Like the Aurelian sheet. Numix is listed on.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember. So, because I got that from this picture. Okay. And Numix is the air guy. This is a sweet picture. Jeez, this is a fun fight. I remember that. All right, so Numix
I remember cursing
is.
so much when I saw this picture.
That's Numix right there. Okay. All right, so you summon Numix, and so what are you telling him to do?
Like just take the empty staff of the Magi and like go into the electricity and like ground one end into the earth so that the electricity passes through the rod and into the earth.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and my
summoning.
staff does not need attunement. I paid the thing for it.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Huzzah!
That was a long time ago. That was a long ass time ago. So you summon Numix, and he makes his way to the center of this electric orb. You can see that the divine, I mean, the arcane power is just coursing through it, and the electricity is trying to attack him, but it just passes through him. His nature, being one with the wind and the storm itself, finds a kinship, and the electricity just like circles around him and through him, and just keeps continuing on his path and hits the ground. He centers himself in the at the core of this orb, and you can see within his form, he brings out the staff of the Magi. The electricity instantly attacks it and hits it, kind of like a Tesla, one of those Tesla coils. You can see lightning just zapping in and out, and Numix just slams it into the ground, and the full force of this arcane ward begins to be focused on this thing, and as it exerts all of its strength, all of its energy, and all of its power, we're talking, you know, what in Back to the Future was it 1.21 gigawatts of power?
Oh,
It's like huge amounts of power just coursing into the staff. You can see the ward itself being spent, and over the next 30 seconds, you can't even imagine the amounts of energy just pouring into it, but it slowly and finally dissipates and vanishes.
Numix, that was awesome.
Akelia says, "That was a great idea. Physics. Who'd have thought?"
YouTube.
What happened to my staff, though?
Oh.
It was energized, right?
Did it become a staff of the Magi +5?
No, the electric version.
It only can cast Thunderbolt at a way higher level.
All right. Here, 1 second here. Okay. Elwyn, I need you to roll me a d20.
Okay.
And the result of your
luckies left.
yes, this is gonna be so this is gonna be high or low, right?
I don't want to. Oh, fuck it.
Hey, not bad.
So this is what your staff of the Magi looks like now. Oh wait, that's a high? You got a high?
Yeah, he got 14.
Yeah, 14.
Oh man. Okay.
What was the picture that you were gonna show for low? I
He
wanna
was
see
gonna
it.
show us a picture of a.
I'm gonna show you a
demon
picture of burnt stick. But
That was awesome.
As long as it still has its powers, I don't care.
No, but that was something that, like, Alvin had no luckies left and he got a 14. I'm like, well, props.
okay, all right. So Owen, this is what your staff looks like. Okay, it looks like this now. Where's your spell? Where's your staff? All right. So you find that a lot of its abilities, all these abilities and stuff, have basically been burned away. All the nature, all the runes, all the incantations and sigils and enchantments that on it that empowered it, right, have been seared, completely just torched. But instead, pulsing within it is an incredible residue, incredible after effect from the energy that was coursing through it. So I'm gonna rewrite your staff of the Magi, which I won't do right now.
Feel free to make it super cool.
Like, he pulls out this burn stick and people go, what are you gonna do with that? And then kaboom.
All right. So I'm gonna write myself a note. right, Elwin? New staff.
Yeah, I
burnt
have
stick.
I have to like kind of commune with it, so I'm not sure what it does right now.
I will mention
Yeah, you don't know
that
it
this
yet.
looks a bit like a gun. So perhaps one end shoots a lot of electricity, like a what do you call it, one of those futuristic sci-fi guns. Who knows? Pulsar weapons.
All right. All right. So in your inventory, I'm changing its name to Burnt Staff of the Magi, and we will rewrite it later.
Cannot wait. You come up with some cool stuff.
This would be
Okay.
awesome.
All right. So what are you guys doing?
I think Numix hands, Elwin the burnt stick again.
Looks like the stick of truth from the South Park games.
I literally just googled burnt stick and put the first one in there.
I would have missed Numix.
Well, the good thing is that I don't have to carry 2 staffs now. I have a stick and a staff.
Okay.
Too bad no more docking, right?
I still have another stick for that, friendly.
Oh, okay.
But I think I'm
Alright.
gonna save that other stick for Deimos.
Oh, but how can you do that with a shield?
Don't ask questions you don't want answered.
You can have a shield and hold stuff.
Okay.
He can hold his weapon and his shield. He doesn't use
What
a
are
weapon.
you even talking
So-
about? This is
He
stupid.
can
What
use
are
it.
you guys talking about?
We can no hands dock.
Yeah. Store that in my hat.
Oh yes, you have a hat. By your powers combined, yes.
His hat.
The duo unicorn.
He just docked with his hat.
And so shall we keep moving forward?
Is it the
And
next
Kelly
track?
looked at you, and, a look of strain and focus on her face. She says, "Yes, please." Us just standing here. She says, "Us just standing here is requiring great concentration to keep these wards at bay."
Oh,
yes.
keep moving, keep moving.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so before we keep going, I will spend another 7th spell slot to try to reconnect with Renly, or is that still active?
Oh yeah, how does that work? Do I lose
No, she used it, so
concentration?
you have to recast it.
Oh.
Oof.
I'll recast it with another 7th level spell slot. Do we need to roll?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay, I don't have any
High low.
cookies. So roll low, Renly.
Come on, Renly. Just don't roll good. Oh fuck yeah.
All right, you guys are tethered
Yeah,
again.
very
Renly,
cool.
concentration. Concentration.
Alrighty, concentrating and walking.
Alright, let's do this again. We'll head back out. I'm keep my eyes out for stuff I probably can't see.
I'm gonna
but-
dig like my heels into Deimos' side to tell him to start walking. Just
Deimos
like my
goes
horse.
forward. I'm like, bruh.
Hold on, no, Minus has got to do the horse noise.
Nutmeg looks at you in
So
judgment.
Dude, I always try to make a horse noise and it does not sound good at all.
You can't
make
do a horse thing.
No.
It's like, yeah.
That is awesome.
Let's do it. Alright, going forward.
Okay. All right, so you move forward again. All right, so you guys continue walking. And the group of you manage to continue through this pass. Akelia deftly manipulates all the wards in this area. And she says, keep going, it's getting easier. It's like we've passed through the most difficult parts of it.
Oh, so good. Let's do this.
That's what
Yep.
she said.
Yeah, it's the most difficult part. Now for the fun stuff.
And as you guys continue down the corridor, you can feel your legs and your wings as you progress. The slog and the sludge becomes noticeably clearer. And as you guys pass through this place, Elwyn, Deimos, and Adis, you guys move through freely. So you guys are further ahead.
Okay.
Renly and Akelia, as Deimos and as the guys move forward, Renly, you can feel Akelia's arms around your neck just suddenly tense up as she tightens her grip on you, and she says,
I pull them backwards. I'm just reacting.
All right, so Elwyn and Deimos again get dragged back to you, but Akelia says, "Oh, she's, oh no. This one was not meant for them." And the final ward activates.
Oh no.
Okay. Appearing
Holy.
before you. Appearing before you. Actually, hold on a second. Let's see. Elwyn's back. Oh no, Sheriff Deimos is back.
All right, so I put my speakers on while I went to the bathroom, and the things that I could hear were our final reward. So what did we get?
No, the final ward.
No, that's not what I heard.
The final ward activated.
Let me roll a persuasion check.
Alright, I'm back in. Who the fuck is this shit?
We got a reward, Deimos.
Oh, fuck, what's your reward?
It's a final ward that is our reward.
Very good, I love wards.
And it just means
So the final
healing?
ward did not activate when you guys walked through it. It only activated when Akelia and Renly came to the spot.
Oh, so dragged them into the ward. Wow.
Yeah, and then she dragged the two of you into it.
Alright, Mr. Kalem. It'd be a real shame if you didn't let our friends go. Cause you know what guys who wear armor are. They're a bunch of guys who are real ticklish. And it seems that I have a PhD in tickling, motherfucker.
My friend Deimos was just kidding. So, Mr. Kalem, I don't know how we know your name because you haven't said it yet.
How
But
do we know it?
I read it on top of your picture.
It's floating above your head and your halo. You have a Kalem halo.
You thought you trapped us, but we have trapped you.
Joke's on you.
So, as you guys have been going through these, you notice that each of these wards have come from a different school of magic. There was, abjuration. There was definitely evocation.
Oh yeah,
and here,
I totally knew that, dude. You didn't have to
Totally
explain
one
it.
big thing
Why would
about
you even
elements.
say stuff like that? I was headed
Yeah.
down my book. I'm like, look at this guy.
Dude, come on.
I wrote down these spells.
We're
for
not
later
noobs
purposes.
here.
What is it? What are you even talking about here? Come on now.
And here the final spell blasts up in front of you, and you're not sure the school of magic of it. And it's probably honestly a hint heavily of illusion, but a bit of even necromancy. As this figure appears in front of you, Deimos, you recognize him instantly.
Oh,
This is
hello,
this
guy
is
that I know personally.
Is he your dad?
Let me tell you his name. His name is Kalem, and I definitely 100% know his name. But I will now let the Overguide tell you how I know his name.
Akelia drops off your back. Renly.
Wait, is this
She
King
takes
Caleb?
she takes a few steps forward towards the person, and she drops down to her knees, and she says, Father.
Knew it.
I'm kneeling. I'm kneeling.
I'm not kneeling.
Yo, what's up, buddy? Why'd you guys try to accidentally blow us up with these things? It's a pain in the butt.
Fucking way, dude. This goes back to like session 1.
Session 1, motherfucker. So, Caleb,
Caleb,
Who dat?
go on.
Who dat?
well, wait, look at us. We're back here again, and your daughter's here. I told you, know what? It's a family bonding time right here. You know what I'm talking about, right, Caleb?
I totally did not try to have sex with her before I got a halfling girlfriend. Or dwarf girlfriend.
New friend, yeah, who this? Who this? New friend, who this?
Caleb stands there and he says,
Daughter, I see that you've brought friends with you. Friends of old, and friends anew. It is good to see how far you have come, my dear. My heart swells within me to know that my own bloodline has arisen to so much.
Akelia looks up. She had seen a vision of her father through the luminant beaconary, but her reaction now to seeing him physically standing in front of her, you know, you can see the tears from her eyes. She says, "Oh, Father, I missed you so. These past years have been so difficult. If only you knew what we've been through." Caleb says,
I know some, daughter. I've watched from afar, from the realm from which no one can return. But I have seen what has occurred with you, your mother, your brother, and our people. And I can see the task that you are on now. And I commend you, my daughter. You have made me truly proud.
Kelly wipes some tears from her eyes and she stands up and she says, "I know not why you have been summoned before us, and I know not what is beyond here. But please, Father, what am I to do? This task on my shoulders is so great, and the odds against us are so insurmountable. Please, help us." Caleb says,
My strength was spent on the battlefield. My purpose was completed when Asmodeus drove his staff through my chest and spilled my lifeblood across the ground. That is where my story ended, my dear, and where yours began. Your fate is as unknown to me as it is to you or to anyone else. But only through the strength of will, the encouragement and support of friends, and the skill of your hand can you see your way forward. I am here. I have been brought here, summoned here, to test you, to check your resolve, and to determine whether or not you are worthy to pass.
and Kelia nods.
Indeed, this test is for all of you who accompany my daughter.
And as he's saying that, he's looking at you, Deimos.
Hey,
He says,
how are you back here? Who brought you back?
Only a magic more powerful than any else could have done this. I was slain by a god. Indeed, by perhaps the greatest god. And only by a hand, by a will as forceful as that one, could I have been summoned here. I know that I am here temporarily. I know that my time is short.
What do you want to say?
It's good to see you, buddy. It's been like almost 2.5 years now, and like outer realm world time, and it's been a lot of time, and it's just crazy seeing you here with the daughter. And why are all these traps here?
And he's moved on. I'm the new best friend. I totally don't trust this guy.
Yeah, what's with all the traps? Kill him.
He says,
These were set in place by the one who is beyond here, just a few steps down the pass. She was frightened, and she built these shields and these wards over the past years to protect herself, but also to only allow through the one whose resolve and whose might was sufficient enough to earn her allegiance.
It almost killed you.
And that
daughter.
is you, my daughter.
It almost killed
That
her.
is you, my...
Where's she
Yes.
at? Where's she at? I need to sit down and talk with her.
Hold on.
Right now.
Kill him. As my best friend, and I'm his best friend, Deimos just stated. My best friend, and I'm his best friend. We're like really tight. Really, really tight. Tighter than you and him ever been, like before. We have like the best relationship. But that's, none here or there. But we have looked after your daughter, and she almost got ended by these wards. Why didn't you show up sooner and help my best friend, Deimos, and myself, best friends, Deimos is best friend, and the number one protector and follower of your daughter? Why so late?
he says,
Right, best friend Deimos?
DTR, Elvin, DTR. What's with your relationship with Davis
I
again?
mean, technically, but I'm sure there's a reason, but I just don't want there to be any trouble. Where's this person at? We need to talk to him.
Best friend Deimos, you don't have to defend him. He can answer himself.
he says to you, he says,
I feel like a guy in between, like when current girlfriend meets the ex.
Right? That's exactly what I'm going for.
he says,
I was summoned here. I am not here of my own strength. Indeed, as the magic that holds me to this plane fades even as we speak, all I can ask you, my daughter, is this one thing. Will you proceed? Will you do that which I could not do? Will you ascend to the heavens, to the very pinnacle of power and authority? Will you fight through all that stands in your way and uphold your virtues, your character? Will you do this so that good might prevail, so that order might have victory, so that the sun might shine on our world again? Will you be good? This is my question for you, my daughter, and for all of you as well.
And his gaze passes over each of you in turn.
Do you have it within you to proceed through the depths of hell itself to accomplish your task?
Well, they've been there and done that before,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah.
that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
been
say.
there, done that.
I said,
person there.
we have been through hell. I've been through hell. My soul has been put up for auction in hell. And my best friend Deimos went there to retrieve me, bring me back to life. I don't think he did that when you died, but
Oh shit! Fuck.
everything that you have just mentioned, we have gone through, and we have been willing to do that. I think the question is redundant. I think the real question here is, why have you showed up now when our path is clear? We have showed our intentions. We have showed exactly what we want to do. But now you decide to show up and try some guidance? Something is off. I don't know you
see him.
personally, but my best friend
Can I-
Deimos does.
Can I insight this fool?
I mean, you don't know anything about him, but sure.
Yeah, but people still have tails. And I'm gonna spark this for funsies. Is it?
Can I insight Elwin to try to figure out whether he really disbelieves this guy or whether he's just jealous?
22.
Go ahead.
Dude, let me roll a. What would that be? A wisdom? Because I have no idea if I'm just jealous or like pointing out some good points. I'm totally jealous, but I'm still putting some. I'm putting out some good,
You're frantic.
good arguments. No, the arguments are still good, but I'm like 100% jealous.
Caleb, what's the test?
He says,
Just because
This is
the
you.
source is from jealousy doesn't mean they're any less, what's the word, bound in logic.
he looks at you guys and he says,
Deimos, your resolve, I know. You speak truth in that the rest of you have been
Yes.
through hell. But my daughter,
It sucked.
I said that though.
He he did say that, but he got this. He got
I
this.
think he's ignoring me.
I died, I came back.
Yes, but we went through hell, and we're gonna conquer the upper planes and the lower. We already have our friend Pepin down there, wreaking havoc.
you can see Akelia kind of slump a little bit. She like retreats into herself. Her posture kind of sinks a little bit, and she says, "I don't know. I don't know if I have it within me, Father.
Caleb,
I don't have your
No.
resolve."
it's not about the resolve.
Oh no, is that
It's about having a dank ass Uncle Deimos. She don't have to worry about nothing. No, it's my job to give her treats and to take her out for ice cream and stuff. She could be a good having fun god. She doesn't have to go fight the hell stuff.
No, at that point, I'll definitely turn my back on Calum and face Acalia, and I'll tell her, Goddess, don't say that. If this is your father, or if it's not, if it's just another game or anything, you know what our mission is, and you have the strength within you, and you know that all of us. I point to all of, even Adis. I'll point to all of us. You know that we are 100% behind you, and we will fight for you. We will fight with you to make this right. Don't let this, if it's your father or not, use this as a trampling into the next step that we must take. This is our fight, and we will fight it alongside you. You just need to lead us. We are here with you. Don't second guess yourself.
Akelia, when we were at the Luminant Beaconary, what you saw there gave you the insights into where you've come and how far you've come. Did that give you insights into who you could be?
She pauses and she says, "When I was young, my father told me what a king or a queen or what a real monarch must do in order to lead her people. And I could never get past the sacrifices that must sometimes be made. I cannot stand to lose a single person. That has always been my weakness, my heart's desire. So even in our city, I did everything I could to protect every single person so that none would be lost." She says, "I would take any pain, any hardship, any suffering upon myself. But if I were to lose the people around me, I don't know if I could continue.
Well,
My
then,
father's asking if we had the resolve to if I had the resolve to see this through, but I know that it will be perilous, and not all of us might make it. And if I were to, and in my heart of hearts, if you, Uncle Deimos, or even if the rest of you, if any of you were to fall, I fear that I would shake in my resolve."
Goddess,
Assurance of success is not the same as the resolve to try.
Goddess, that was not what was proposed to you. You are seeing it within yourself. Though a real leader, a real successful leader, does not make their subjects put themselves in peril for the greater gain. A real leader inspires their subjects to put themselves in that position. So, me, I know Deimos and Renly, since we just had a connection a little bit ago. I know that, and Adis. Well, I don't know about Adis, but us, we're not putting ourselves in this peril because it's the right thing to do. We're putting our lives in peril because we believe in you, and you're not making us do anything. We're doing this because of ourselves and our beliefs, and you are the right person. You have the right heart. And just for you thinking that you would sacrifice yourself before us makes us want it even more. And that is why we put ourselves in that position. Because we know that for the greater good, you are the rightful one. And we don't do it because we have to. We do it because we believe in you. And we do it gladly. And I will always be proud to stand in front, beside all of my friends, and that includes you.
She's looking in your eyes, Adis, and she says, "I know your resolve. I know you support me to the end, and that is what I fear. That you will die in the effort."
Well then,
And yeah,
death.
but
I
that
shall.
is not the end, and that is not the worst thing that can happen to us. The worst thing is that, and I look up into the sky, towards Mount Celestia, is that we don't try, and then things fail.
And I'll tell you,
Trying is worth it. Death is worth it.
I have suffered death before,
Indeed.
and I have friends to pull me from that fate. And if I shall suffer it twice, 3 times, 100 more times, if there's one time that I could not come back, I have no regrets, and I would gladly give my life for this cause. And your hands do not take my death as blood on your hands, I have chosen this path, and I shall follow it. I would gladly like you to be there with us. But even if you're not, and we don't have your power behind us, I am still going to march on. I would love to think that you would be there beside me.
Indeed,
mean,
we are not sacrificed. Your father talked about monarchs and people ending, but we are not being sacrificed here. Each of us goes on our own journey. Where it ends, it ends. But together, it makes a difference.
as long
She
as
looks
we
at you,
save
Deimos.
the kitties. I died before because of these demon buttholes. But I got brought back. And I'm not saying I'm doing it because I got brought back, but just the smiles of all the cute, fluffy animals of surviving in the world, it makes it all worth it. I'm not going soft, but they're just freaking adorable. And if I could do anything to help them, you know, I'm gonna do it.
She smiles and she puts her hand on your shoulder, Deimos, and she says, "Oh, Uncle, I know you truly are soft at heart.
No, I'm
There's
not.
no
I'm
shame
super
in
tough.
that."
Yeah, super tough. Look how tough I am.
She stands up and she says, "Then if that is truly your resolve, and if you are so dedicated and intent on seeing this through, then the only way in which I can honor you is by matching your heart." She turns to Caleb and she says, "Father, I will proceed. I will see my fate through to the very end. And like my friends here, I will claw my way up this mountain and fight to the bitter end for that which is good and just and right." Caleb looks at her and says,
My daughter, together with your friends, you surpass my wildest dreams for you. Now hear the final words of a loving and proud father. My hopes and prayers are with you. May your path be blessed. May the wind drive you forward. And know that I, your father, will always love you. Proceed forward.
and with that, the illusion, and it really was more than illusion. It was illusion made real. It was Caleb, the essence of Caleb himself, pulled from the eternal afterlife to here. Fades away. Akelia stands tall. Her posture full of confidence and pride. Her face wet with tears. She turns to you all, a new resolve in her eyes. She says, "We must proceed. My father
Your
would want
father
it."
was kind of cool, you know. Just like,
He was like,
She says, "He gave his life for his people and doing what he believed. That is the greatest gift. Come, let us see what awaits us beyond this pass."
Let's check it out.
She strides forward with confidence in her step, emerging. You can see even just a bit emerging from the um, developing from the frail young girl that she was when you first met her. Um, Now a young woman. You can see that reflected in her stride. And as she passes forward, um, the the world shimmers around you, and you can see illusions falling and hidden in front of you, and basically in front of you. What was hidden? A small dwelling place, a rough, um, a rough little hut constructed out of earth and branch and stone. And in front of the the hut, sitting a small figure, a young girl, um, angelic wings spread behind her back, the brief hint of a halo flickering above her head. In her arms, she's dressed like a mortal would be dressed, holding the toy of a child. You figure her age, so maybe 7 years old in appearance. Kelly approaches and says, "My dear, I've arrived. And if you feel the same bond that I feel in this moment, then you know that we were fated for each other." The girl raises her head and looks at Kelia, and she nods her head briefly. No words echoing her, coming forth from her mouth.
What's your name? Why are you holding this stupid bear? And, why did you try to blow us up? Also, are you a god or an angel?
When Deimos asks her that, I'm like, I turn to Deimos and say, just just a quick stupid experiment, Deimos. Let's say you have two friends, right?
Yeah.
And you had to name friend number one as being
friend
the best friend,
The best
and then
friend.
friend number two being like the second best friend.
Oh, of course,
And
of course.
yeah. Maybe one of them happens to be named Caleb and the other one Elwin.
That
How
sounds
would you rank
awfully
them?
specific. That's
I
super
know,
cool.
isn't
But
it? But
I
yeah.
definitely would love to answer this question right after I see what this angel lady's doing, because we're pressed with time.
No, you know what? She has time. She's been here forever. I just need something,
I guess we have to put down this thing of,
I write out a piece of paper and I stick it in my pocket.
I wrote it down here.
You don't have a pocket.
Does Elwin reach out?
That's the point.
I Deimos tether, but not Deimos, just the saddle.
Oh my god!
I wrote down my answer right here in my pants. It's in my butt crack. Remember, I ran around all day.
So, Angel, what do you have to say for yourself? Elwin is totally defeated. He doesn't know. Like, I might turn to the dark side. I might go Anakin on you guys.
Can you get the paper out of his butt crack?
Oh,
I shouldn't have to.
No, I'm asking the angel.
It's just sticking right there, just out of it.
East Dame was just twerking it.
Oh, that's just taunting us.
I don't know do this paper in my butt right now. This It's highly inconvenient.
When do you want me to go
Kelly.
in? I turned into a squid.
Damo shits it out and runs away. You see a piece of paper on the ground covered in a little bit of feces that says number 1 and has stars drawn around it.
Oh, yes, I'm
Wait,
not
what?
touching that.
Oh, so it has L1 drawn on it. It's a stick figure. You just can't tell very well.
I can tell, buddy. I'm sorry I doubted you. I ran over and I put the saddle back on him. I'm sorry I was just very... I'm usually a very confident person, and it's just when it comes with you,
I
I'm just really...
understand.
Yeah.
I leave a tentacle.
It's a tough time. Also, I'm very deathly afraid of that thing right there.
I
and I
bite
don't
the
know
tentacle.
why. Oh, you're so good to
I
me,
got
Owen.
your back, buddy. I'm just so insecure when it comes to you.
You see Damos is just rolling around a little bit. You see,
It's so scary. I don't know why it's so scary.
Hold on. What do I think? Is he telling the truth?
oh, Damos is definitely telling the truth.
Oh,
Let's go,
yeah.
let's go, let's go.
That's what it looks
I
like to you.
bite it
Yeah.
off.
I turned into a giant octopus. That don't fit in your mouth anymore.
I cast at 9th level my super Damos punch on the octopus as I have my eyes closed. I'm like,
Destroy it.
Randy, our connection that we had is no stronger than not close to be as strong as the one I had with Deimos, even though we docked. I'm sorry, Deimos.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds pretty awesome. How was she?
It was magical.
Oh,
We
that's
merged
right,
hands.
awesome.
You can do that too. You
Fist
have the
bump.
condom hat on.
Whoa, first off, this is a stylish piece in France right now.
I suddenly remember now that I have my best friend back.
Yep.
That there was this angel or god lady.
Oh yeah.
Holding the stupid bear.
What's up with your stupid bear, angel lady?
Look over. What the fuck's she doing?
Who's this angel broad with the stupid bear in her hands?
Kelly
You were
has
saying-
her arm on the angel's shoulder, and she says, her name is Ariel. She has been here for years by herself. She is an archangel of Mistra, the last. She's been staying here hidden away. She managed to keep herself far away from the demons as they roamed this plane. The barriers and wards she did out of self-defense. She says, Ariel.
Well,
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, well, Ariel, you are amongst friends now, and your goddess is here, and I'll spread out my wings and say, I am the High Archangel of Mistra. You can be the next Archangel, not High Archangel like me, but
I'm Uncle of Archangel.
Yes.
Mistra.
I hit them on the
And
back
these
of the
are our
head with 2
servants.
arms each.
Randy, stop
This-
it. You're making us look bad.
and these are our servants.
Yes,
Renly.
this is my servant Renly and my servant Edus.
Don't make me tentacle you.
But yes, I am the High Archangel. Welcome to the family.
I own you.
When I throw a piece of gold at her.
No, that's just
Oh, it's not how that. Oh, that's
I
right.
attempt to catch the gold piece. No,
I'm just
no.
joking. I'm just joking.
Ariel kind of looks at you all. She's shy, she's timid, and she looks up at Kelly too, and she shakes her head a little bit, and she gestures slightly in your direction. And Kelly says, she's shy. She is committed to helping me in whatever way she can, and if the power of her wards in this area or any evidence or any indicator, she will be able to do so much. You can see her looking at Ariel for a bit, and you can tell that the two of them are finding a connection that stretches deep. Ariel was an archangel of Mistra, the goddess of magic, who Akelia has now replaced, and it's like fitting in perfectly. The intertwining of their domains and their roles is you guys can see it happening before you. It's completely natural. And Akelia, as she reaches out and touches Ariel's hand, you can see power glowing around Akelia as Ariel just nods and focuses her own power. Akelia says, "This is incredible. She's taking some of this burden that I've been carrying. She's able to manage so much of my domain, of the weave that has been," she says, "I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this."
Worry about that teddy bear. What's with the teddy bear?
No, when she says that, I'm like, oh, you can visibly tell Elwin's kind of put back a little bit. I say, but goddess, you were never alone. We've always been here for you. We've gone through
says,
all of this.
Of course. She says, I know, but what I'm saying is that this burden I've been carrying, maintaining the connection of the weave to the planes all throughout creation. She says, I now have her to lean upon.
So what are we to you?
She says, you are everything. You're my friends. She says, but I can be more present than I have been. I can be here with you, fighting alongside with you, to a much greater degree than I have been able to so far.
Fuck yeah. How do we make more angels?
I volunteer to...
Miss Charis.
One thing at a time. I start pouring tea.
You to help us help you, help Mistra, help Akelia, make the portfolio very sustainable. I right here have myself a premium Elwyn. Elwyns make very good fire guard angel babies, and they can also help. Is this acceptable? Say nothing if yes, and say yes if yes. Say no if yes.
Akelia takes Ariel, and she hides her behind her back, and she says, "Perhaps when she is of age, but as of right now, we will not be talking of creating any more angels."
How old is she?
She looks 7.
She's gonna be older than all of us put together. I'm super confused here.
That does not matter, Deimos.
Oh, I didn't say anything about her. I was talking about the other angels. I'm squinty-eyed. I'm like, definitely lying out of my teeth.
Hey, Akelia, if you and I need to make this happen, you are my goddess, and I will gladly fulfill your...
I will smack you in the face.
That's not what you were saying?
She is a very nice young lady, and she does not need any.
I'll take her out to dinner first.
No,
As they're arguing about this, I go in front of them. I weave my tentacles to form this wall of tentacles, and I start pouring tea and passing the teacups.
I cast Miracle to just destroy all types of octopuses.
Would you like
To eradicate all tentacle creatures.
Yes.
I don't know. I've had a mixed.
For real, how were angels made?
This
This is actually a scientific question Deimos actually wants answered.
on
Because
this
he is
day,
a
with
wizard.
a mix of emotions going through my body and through my mind.
Deimos,
I don't know if I should have sex with a kid or with the god or with Renly.
Erwin, it's okay. Erwin,
the gods
you're,
willed them
you're the
into
god of fire
existence.
sex. Just hold it back. Just hold it back.
Shut up and drink your tea. And I pass
Wait,
you
what did you say,
teacups.
Adis?
I was trying to tell Deimos the gods willed them into existence, and they don't even have the parts for you to get that stupid shenanigans shit on.
Oh, we'll find a hole.
And then so
So
and Ariel pops her head out from behind Akelia, and you can see a little bit of a frown on her face, and she points her finger at you, Elwyn, and she says,
And even if I did, it wouldn't be with you, stupid head.
Oh fuck, her voice is disgusting. Yeah, we're fucking running away. I'm out of here. Erwin?
Have you met Pepin?
Oh
No,
fuck.
no.
No.
Guys, you don't understand. It's a game. The game is
And it's a game you just lost.
I look her in the eyes and say, challenge accepted.
This is not creepy at all. Not at all.
Miss-
Leave me
Miss-
alone.
Miss
Be
Ariel.
sarcastic.
Miss Ariel, how old are you?
she hides back behind Akelia, and Akelia says,
This is for me to hold him back for straight science purposes. Please, can you tell me?
a second goes by, and you see a single hand come out, and she's holding up 5 fingers in front of her.
I said, never mind. I take back my last comment.
And
Akelia looks back, and she says, Akelia says, that means she's 500 years old.
Oh,
Erwin,
then
you're
never
back
mind.
in
I
the
take
game.
back
Get
my
back in the
last
game. Get
comment.
back in the.
No,
I
but
sprayed
how
back
is that
in.
in angel years?
I give-
Because you have dog years and you have humanoid years. What is that in angel years? That's 3 years old.
It's 1,000 to 1.
That's what I think.
Damn it, I'm back out again.
Every
Get out of
1,000
this.
angel years is one human
It's
year.
a trap. It's an angel trap.
It's trapped.
It's angel jailbait.
But still, what the fuck's with this fucking stupid teddy bear?
Hey, Deimos.
What?
You remember all those wards
Yeah.
and the explosions?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful, right?
They're pretty fucking banging.
Right. So you think you should be insulting her toy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, your funeral.
It's a teddy bear.
Does no
And I-
one want to drink tea?
And
then
I
I
want it.
transform into Baloo.
And she could also
mean,
probably split you in half.
I doubt it.
But Damos is still butthurt because he doesn't have a cat constantly strapped to his chest anymore, and he still has PTSD about that.
So he wants the teddy bear.
Midas,
hug
is
you,
there a
Deimos.
rock? Is there a
It's
rock
okay.
around about the size of the teddy bear?
Yeah, there's lots of rocks.
I'll grab
yeah.
one of them, polymorph it into a stuffed teddy bear, and throw it to him.
Yeah,
And it'll actually talk to him.
Can you turn that into a cat?
Okay, a stuffed cat that can talk
Yes. Acceptable. I stick it in the pouch,
And I am 100%
What
okay
pouch?
again.
You don't have a
Oh
pouch.
fuck
A
myself.
tiny whitey pouch.
I literally, I get like shit.
Anyone have a string? I need to tie this up to myself.
Are you gonna stick it in
I
your
can get
pants?
you a
In your
pouch.
underwear?
No, I'm gonna try to find a thing just to tie it to myself. I'm not that cruel.
Oh, the
Alright,
only
so that's a
messenger
quest.
bag this.
He doesn't have a bag.
No, do you want to fashion have the bear be a bag? Like, basically like a
No.
fashion. You
No,
tie
no,
it to the
no,
bear.
no.
Or the kitten.
The only backpack Damos will ever have again is Vork. Vork is Damos's backpack.
I'm so surprised you haven't used your miracle
No,
yet
no.
to get
Elwin,
fork.
You're a superior thing. You're like a crown.
No, you're like my mount. You're right.
Yeah, I'm like the mountain. Vice versa. Yes.
All right. So Ariel she tags along behind Akelia, but as a little bit of time goes by, and you guys kind of settle around here, she shows you around. She doesn't talk very much at all. when she calls you stupid head, Elwyn, it's really the only time that she talks. Um,
Playing hard to get.
she shows you she shows you what she's been doing here. I mean, she has some crude things set up, but it's a very simple living area. And she's pretty proud of her arcane arts, the things that she's crafted and made, the wards that she's built and all that kind of stuff. And as Akelia guides her, and they interact to each other, every once in a while, Ariel will flicker away and vanish as she's concentrating her full efforts to maintain different parts of Akelia's domain. And then she'll flicker back in, like 10 or 20 seconds later.
Shit. All right, I don't want to do it, but I think I have to actually head out for the night. I got to work like 20 hours tomorrow, and I gotta
crazy,
go in.
Man.
I gotta go in like 2 hours. So
Okay.
I thought you were done with your crazy shifts.
I
Oh
am.
my god.
I am. This is just like a really weird day. I gotta have like meetings all day with people from like literally around the globe, and it's a pain in the fucking butt.
Good luck, though.
Yeah, energy drinks.
All right,
I'll see
man.
you guys next week. Well,
Yeah,
I'll see
we're
you
just
some of
about
you
done
guys
anyway.
Tuesday.
The rest of you guys want to do anything? Anything you want to do after here? You guys can rest in this area if you want to.
Yeah, I
That
think.
sounds good.
Yeah, we'll take a rest, and I think it's a good. That way, Deimos is back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Did you check out that spell, Midas?
I have it here. I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
I'll read it in a
Well,
second. The
Are we good?
oh, yeah. I think we're good. Let's see here. Okay, so from this spot, the last thing Ariel does is she's set up little viewing ports, little mirrors and stuff around, and with it she's been able to view different places and areas throughout the plane of Elysium.
Like Tempest's vigil?
You look around, and there's a couple dozen little mirrors. One of them, on different places that she's found interesting and moving around. And you ask her if she has Tempest's vigil as one, and she pauses, and she moves over to a mirror, and the mirror is covered with a blanket or with a piece of cloth. And she points at it, and she kind of shudders a little bit, and as she points to the mirror. She's covered it because she never wants to look at it.
Wow. Okay, that's scary. I look towards Deimos.
Deimos is checked out. He's fell asleep, or he's off doing something dumb.
Yes, and I leave that up to him for next time.
Okay. All right, if you guys want to leave it until next time,
any covers of any mirrors. I've watched enough horror films to know not to lift those up. So I leave that up to Deimos.
the mirrors are like viewing windows. They're just basically her
Exactly.
interaction with the world. So
Yeah. And as we look out, maybe something might look back through. Who knows?
okay, is that where you guys want to leave it?
Cool,
Sounds
cool.
good to me.
All right, cool. Well, I will catch you guys next week then.
Awesome. Nighty night.
No, hold
Good
on.
night.
I'll look through it.
All right.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Look through what?
I got guidance on you, just in case.
You're gonna look through the mirror. All right.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
No, I'm picturing
So
a Bloody
you-
Mary situation.
You, Elwyn, you pull back the cloth covering the mirror, and you look at, and before you, the scene is one shrouded in darkness. Even though it is daytime here in Elysium, looking through this portal, you see swirling darkness. You see the crashing of waves violently across the shoreline. And you can see It looks like a crater in the ground, a spot where the vigil would have been or should have been, but it's not like a crater like a meteor impact. It's like a crater like something what large and heavy was dragged off into the water and just dug this large trench or like a ravine, just got dragged out and ripped away at the ground and stone and into the sea.
Yeah, never mind. I don't look at it.
And
No, was that what, like, where the thing was?
Tempest's vigil? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I step up and I look into the mirror to look into the sea. Is there anything in the distance?
In the
I try
sea?
to perceive. Yeah.
Yes. Towering off the shore of Elysium, you see a massive thing moving about through the water.
It's Cthulhu.
Its form so massive that at first you take it for like a storm cloud. But you can tell that its form stretches way above the cloud line. And as the clouds break, you see this creature moving, and you can see basically you catch a visage of its outline. At its the very crown of its head, floating above its head, you recognize a crystal similar in shape and origin and having kinship to the other vigils that you've seen. This is what you see.
Oh my god.
Dude, I don't know how you do it, but you come up with the best fucking pictures.
This thing is miles high, miles tall. It is massive.
It's like Godzilla size, like a Titan size monster. Okay.
Okay.
So maybe he can Titan toss us to the top of the mountain.
All right.
All right.
I will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Dude, thanks. That was fun. See ya.
Yep. Have a good week.